But I want to start, obviously, with reacting to the Scott Woodward news or the introduction. And first, let me just start with letting you hear how Scott Woodward started his press conference today after he was introduced by Dr. Alexander.
But let me be clear, and very clear. I'm not solely back at LSU because it's my alma mater. I did not return because this is home to me and my entire multi-generational family. And I did not come back because of the pull of any one individual. I am at LSU because I believe in who we are and what we can accomplish together, and I stress together. And because LSU means so much to me, and it means so much to many people here in this great state.
While we were at the press conference today waiting for it to start, and if you're not familiar, it was at the Journalism Building in the Holiday Forum. And the Holiday Forum is, since they renovated the Journalism Building, it's kind of the atrium right there in the center. And it's set up quite honestly for things like this. They have a lot of forums there, and with the podium at the front, and there's chair seating, there's a balcony. And it's not a large venue, but it's large enough for something like today. And I got there about 20 minutes early because I just wanted to sort of notice who was there and sort of take account of some of those things. And what struck me the most, and I tweeted this earlier today, just about every person of influence in the LSU community, past or present, coaches, administrators, former administrators, boosters, members of the board of supervisors, politicians, they were all there. All of them. I started in media in May of 2003. So coming up on 16 years. It's not a lifetime like some guys have, I understand, but 16 years is a long time, and you've seen a lot over that. I've been to a lot of press conferences, y'all. I've been to a lot of press conferences. I've been to the rah-rah events. I've been to the dog and pony shows. The good and the bad, the hirings, the firings, the introduction, hey, let's go up to the top of Tiger Stadium and see that new Skyline Club, and all the everything. I've been to all of it. I can't remember a time where there was that many people of influence in the LSU community, all in one place at the same time, unanimously giving their support to what was transpiring. That was overwhelming. I mean, every member of the Board of Supervisors was there in their purple jackets. Former AD Skip Bertman was there. Skip obviously worked with Scott when Scott was working as Mark Emmert's lieutenant when Skip was the AD. Guys like Stanley Jacobs, one of the biggest boosters LSU's ever had, was there to lend his support. Jay Darden was there. He ran for governor, is now the governor's, John Bel Edwards' chief of staff. Jay Darden was there. Ed Ogeron, Beth Torina, Verge Osbury, Justin Vincent, who's now with Taft. Collis Temple was there. John Brady was there. It just, past and present, everybody who's had an influential voice or still has an influential voice around LSU was there. It was the biggest group of power brokers that I've ever seen in one place related to LSU ever. I mean, it was an impressive showing of arms, so to speak, today, of people showing their support for Scott Woodward. And I don't want this to be a referendum on Joe Oliva. I don't. But it is tough to talk about the new guy without referencing the old guy or the way things were. That's just the nature of it. It's like with a coach. For the first, year to whatever, like when Ed Ogeron was in place, he was compared to the way things were done under Les Miles because Les had been there for 12 years. Just, it's natural. Like, people still compare Palmineri to Skip Bertman. Like, it's just the way it is. Fair or unfair, right or wrong, just what it is. And the reasons, in my opinion, why we're at this point were because Joe Oliva didn't have the necessary support of key players in the LSU community, top on down, And Joe wasn't a great orator. He wasn't a great PR guy. He wasn't going to take the mic and be influential and sway favor or sell people. He lacked that element. I think Joe, in many respects, was a good administrator. But this part of the job is where he was deficient, and this is very clearly where Scott Woodward throughout his career has proven to be spectacular. And it showed again today. I mean, just when you think about what LSU is trying to accomplish right now, they just launched the university just launched this $1.5 billion capital campaign. You have to have the biggest donors to LSU committed to giving money to achieve that goal. You can't do it if they're disgusted by the administration, top on down. I mean, we've referenced Richard Lipsey a couple of times. I mean, Richard Lipsey owns a company that generates $500 million in revenue annually. It's one of the largest wholesalers of firearms in the country, right here in Baton Rouge. And that guy's out there publicly calling for the AD and the president to be fired. You think you're getting $1 out of that guy with the structure the way it was? You will now. Why does that matter? Well, you want to go build facilities, you want to hire coaches, you want to increase staff budgets, all that stuff. It's the business, it's the game that's played, and you have to have the right people in place to cultivate those relationships to be able to ask for those favors when you need them. And LSU is in a vulnerable spot right now where some of those relationships are fractured. Did you hear Verge Osbury on the show yesterday? I love Verge, man. He's been so good to me over the years. In every show that I've done over the years, he's been generous with his time, never ever had to come on, but always does. Did you hear how candid he was yesterday on the show when he talked about, healing and some of the relationships you have? That, yeah, let me hear. This was Verge yesterday on the show.
It's been very positive. Matt, we have to do a lot of healing around here. We have to heal the department. And there's different factions out there, and you see things, and people write different things. But we have to step back, and now all of us need to come together. And I think this is why it's important where the LSU alumni are so fired up about this decision. Well, we got to put LSU back together again.
Healing, fractions, putting LSU back together again. That's the deputy director of athletics saying that. It's not me saying it. It's a guy on the inside who's recognizing some of the shortcomings. And they're obvious. And with this one decision, you wonder why I was an idiot in the hallway doing a cartwheel or trying to do a cartwheel last week? Because of this. Scott, play number 7, please. Play, if you would. This was Scott Woodward earlier today. Play this.
The most important, this is paramount. And King and I and James Williams and I talked about it so many times. If we're not rowing this boat in this direction, we're going to get our butts kicked in Tuscaloosa. We're going to get our butts kicked in Opelika. We're going to get our butts kicked in Gainesville. And trust me, I have no intention of doing that. And so I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that we're rowing this thing in the right direction.
And that's been the problem. Not everybody, top on down, was rowing in the same direction, if you want to use that analogy, that metaphor. They are now. It took this one decision to get that done.